Welcome to the North Carolina iFishiBelong and Pisgah area women's fly fishing and headwaters fourth annual DIY fishing weekend. So excited that you all are here to just learn more about the event and just fishing really in that specific area. As you all know, the area has definitely been hit hard by Helene as well as the wildfires. So we appreciate everyone that is coming and everyone that's registered, because this area definitely needs people there. We need to shop small, support local, and really, bring ourselves and our money into the town. So I'm just going to quickly go through kind of a little bit about iFishiBelong and what these events entail. And then the rest of the co-hosts are going to go through all of the details, fishing information. We'll go through some conservation thoughts, and then we're going to open it up for a Q&A. Basically, the DIY fishing events, we have 4 different programs with iFishiBelong, and this is our program that really is advocating for all socioeconomic statuses. So we want to create events that are budget friendly, where you can camp or you can get a hotel or get an Airbnb, you can DIY fish, and or you can hire a guide. So we've selected different areas all over the United States that really with walk and wade or DIY fishing in mind. And we've been coming to North Carolina. This is our 4th official event. We did one a year before that for fly tying. So we've definitely had an amazing relationship with the Headwaters, and we look forward to all the future events that we have with them. As far as iFishiBelong and who I am, I'm Heather Hodson. I go by the pronouns she, her, hers. I live in Spokane, Washington, and founded iFishiBelong and United Will on the Fly and Fly Fish Instruct. I'm kind of a Jill of all trades that likes to start things. With our mission is truly focusing on cultivating leadership opportunities, advocating for equitable representation, offering financial assistance, and promoting access and belonging for all people within the angling community. And these different DIY fishing events definitely do all of this as far as what our mission work is. Tonight's kind of how we would like to roll is just going through travel, and then, as I mentioned, weekend itinerary logistics, all of the DIY fishing details, safety, and then we'll open it up to a Q&A. Please feel free to utilize the chat as well. I'll be looking at that, and so will the other co-hosts or whoever, so we can help answer questions also. But let's meet the co-hosts. So, Hannah, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'll slide over here. Jessica,
I did. I changed the screen. I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm also just eating my food. You're not really missing a whole lot.
Let me see. Oh, there she is.
There I am. This is about as raw as it gets.
Be you, girl. I love it.
All right. Well, I was born and raised here in Transylvania County along with Jessica. So I've worked at the shop for, I guess this is my ninth season, if I compare it to Waylon. So I've been at Headwaters for 9 years now. One of the fishing guides there. I help Jessica kind of manage the ins and outs of the business. So I've been running around these creeks and woods since I was a little girl. And we've really enjoyed over the last several years being able to kind of share not just the fishing aspect of our area, but really kind of in total what our area has to offer. And I think this weekend is really cool because people are camping and they're staying, at cabins and everything. So there's different sectors of people that come through this weekend. So there's people that will branch off to go hiking. There are people that will, branch off to do float trips and see different areas that fortunately we get to call home. So we're really grateful to share that with you guys over the weekend and are here to answer any questions that you may have.
Awesome.
Oh, it's me.
It's alphabetical order, so yeah.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jessica. Yes, the same. Just we're excited. I think I probably say this every year, but I think it was about 10 or 12 years ago, I called Heather. Didn't even know Heather at the time, and called her, and I was like, how cool would it be just to do fishing, camping and fishing trips around the country for women's groups, and all you have to do is give Heather any kind of spark of an idea, and she is a go-getter, and we'll make it happen. And it's been awesome to see the evolution of these weekends kind of come to fruition. It's been a lot of fun to be part of, and just excited. Yeah, exactly. Here, thank you, Heather, for mentioning at the beginning what our community has been through. There's natural disasters going on. Seems like every day some new one comes up around the country, so it's been pretty difficult. But for what we've went through in the last 6 to 8 months here in Western North Carolina, we desperately need people to come and visit and just spend some time. Our restaurants, our Airbnbs, hotels, the small businesses. And anything, any little bit, any short time, 1 night stay or 2 night stays or anything is going to be really helpful to kind of help us continue to rebuild and recover. And so thank you for that. It really means a lot. So any questions you guys have, let us know.
Yeah, you all mean a lot to all of us and to the entire just fishing community. So, Lydia.
Hey, I'm Lydia. This is my 3rd year participating in the iFishiBelong United Women on the Fly event. I work here at Headwaters, going into my 3rd year here. We have a lot of fun that weekend. I would say my favorite part is the nighttime hang, the party, where we have some guitar solos and
Line dancing.
Copperhead Road,
Yeah.
specifically.
If you put Copperhead Road on, rest assured, I'm going to be teaching you how to do that line dance.
She's a very good instructor. I know it.
I worked at Texas Roadhouse for 8 years, so that would be why. But yeah, I want to point out, and I know we have a slide later on, that some of us are going to be running a race on Saturday morning called She Slays 5K. So it's a 3.1 mile race. Okay. You can walk it, you can jog it, you can sprint it, whatever you want to do. It's for a good cause. It supports women with all different types of cancer. And we did purchase a sign in honor of our friend Becca Sue Klein. So there's a memory mile along the course that will have her sign with a picture of her in memory of her. So there'll be a slide, and we did do a post on the Facebook group page where you can see more information about how to register for the race. And if you want to carpool, just shoot me an email, lydia@headwatersoutfitters.com, and I'll add you to a list so we can all ride together.
Awesome. And I'll make sure that when we do the follow-up email from this evening and then future emails as well, Lydia, that we include all that information and everything. So thank you. Molly.
Hey y'all. This is my 3rd year attending this event, and the first year I accidentally signed up for like the VIP class with Heather. And so literally dove in headfirst with United Women on the Fly, the kickoff ticklers for iFishiBelong, and met all these amazing women that work at Headwaters, and was intimidated, was embarrassed, was just... And then next thing you know, I just felt like these are like my fishing sisters. So I will just say that show up, show out, and be open for anything that happens. And you will be, Waylon will be so surprised. Sorry, that was my squirrel moment, my Waylon moment. But no, seriously, it's just like anything else in your life. What you put in, you will get out. And you'll probably get out about tenfold. So be open to fishing with somebody that you don't know. Go up and speak to somebody you've never met before, and they may not even be at the event. You'd be like, hey, come on, there's room for more. So just, if you're not from this area, I say this area, I'm in Georgia right now, but my mom's family is from there. So it's very welcoming. Don't be afraid to talk to strangers. Strangers are not dangerous in those areas. Unless they only have like 2 teeth, and then you might want to be suspect. But that's anywhere you go. But no, we really appreciate you guys attending tonight. It's going to be a great event. And again, I, who have family that's from there, really appreciate you all coming up and supporting our community and our citizens and our small businesses. So thank you.
Awesome. And I love it too. It's so Molly signed up for the Fly Fishing 201 class. It was a 2-day, it was very extensive class, and she did amazing. And I love it now. It's so amazing to see that 3 years later, here, just kind of this continuation where we're trying to cultivate leaders, and Molly's going to be leading or helping lead the workshop that you all are going to do. So, that's what it's all about is it just share your knowledge, meet people, say hello, and you get out what you put into it, just as she said. And all of these relationships that we've all developed is because of these events, fishing, and social media. And so it's a pretty beautiful thing. So event partners, as mentioned, so Pisgah area women's fly fishing, and then Headwaters Outfitters. The girls that are in the shop right now, do you all want to talk a little bit about Pisgah POF, and just that way, if anyone that's new to the area or maybe doesn't know about POF?
Yeah, we POF is just a platform to bring people together. We host some events. We're kind of sporadic. We tried to start it in like 2015, and there was like 2 of us that came out. Then we tried to do it again, and we just really weren't getting a lot of engagement. And then we tried it again in 2018 and had like 30 to 40 women show up for our first event. And it's just been really cool to see that community grow. We mainly do stuff in the wintertime just because most of the leaders are all guides in the area. So the spring and summer are just really busy for us. But we partner with our local Trout Unlimited chapter, and we have a great online presence to get information out where women will post and meet up and go fishing together, or there will be events that we can connect people with. So it's become just a great platform of communication mostly. And then of course, just some like fly tying and fun events that we get to host throughout the year.
Awesome. And what about Headwaters? Give a little spiel about the amazing Headwaters.
Yeah, we are here. We are 20. It says 1992 to 2022, but that was our 30-year anniversary. So now we're going on 33 years. As a family business, my mom and dad started it in 1992, and I've been able to be kind of at the helm since 2014. And never did I think that a second location would be something that we would even consider or be a part. But when I called Hannah with the opportunity and said, I'm not doing this unless you're in, and she said, well, I'm in. And she and Greer and some of the staff have really done an incredible job. I can't wait for y'all to see it. It really is it's been a fun project, and I really think that it's going to be a fun year. I went to Sedona and got my cards read this past fall, and they said this was going to be a really exciting year, and all your new ventures are gonna succeed. So if they don't work, I'm going back to Sedona to talk to that lady.
Refund. I want a refund.
I love that.
In a great way, around here. I mean, I think a lot of women that are probably either on this call or connected to this group are from areas where outdoor recreation is probably pretty prevalent, and seasonal businesses are really tough. And each venture that we've taken on, like the tap room at our main location, and hopefully this has just allowed us to keep staff on year round, and take a little pressure off of that January, February months where you're looking around going like, do we have to cut payroll hours? Do we need to do this? And these kind of endeavors help us become a more sustainable living wage, year-round employer.
Awesome. Love it. And then other sponsors, of course, Headwater is a huge sponsor. They donate to us their time, their location, camping, all the things. We also have Trout Routes. So if you're not familiar with Trout Routes, they have sponsored our different scholarships. So we've had some scholarships in the past in North Carolina. Now we have a couple in Oregon and Montana events coming up this year. Angler's Coffee. So if you have not experienced Angler's Coffee, in your registration bag that y'all are going to get, you're going to get well, I don't know what the right word is, but or the steaming where you put it in a pack, hot water. Yeah. So you'll get we're actually collaborating with them. So pretty exciting stuff to work with Angler's Coffee, and they have really good coffee. And I believe they do roast in North Carolina, actually. They might roast in North Carolina. So, and then Fly Fish Instruct, which is where all of our workshops and all of our education, kind of that content, that curriculum comes from. And all are welcome at all of these events. So yes, it did develop with United Women on the Fly. So there are many, many, many women that show up, but we encourage and we welcome all folks to come and be a part of it. We also encourage that it's all species. So last year we so happened to be there during the cicada hatch, and the carp were on cicadas. You can see this photo up here of the carp. But so, there's lots of different species that you can catch, and we also are all about all techniques. So it's not just fly fishing. If you have a conventional rod, that's what you want to use, as well as if it's within the regulations of whatever fishery you're going to be fishing, that's also encouraged. So all species, all techniques, all people, as far as I Fish I Belong goes. We have a Facebook group. I know, well, we have 154 members, so I think this is actually bigger than that. So utilize that. That's going to be your friend. And we're going to be sending a couple more emails over the next couple of weeks, but really this is a place where you ask questions. All of our co-hosts are on. We can help answer any questions. We might be doing some last minute posting on there, as well as it's a great opportunity for you to make friends and make fishing arrangements. So throw yourself out there. Say, hey, I'm coming in on Saturday. Does anybody want to fish? Or does anybody want to share a guided trip or whatnot? So really just utilize that Facebook group. We are in Western North Carolina, as mentioned, and kind of within the indigenous lands. Fish Cherokee is probably the closest area. So if you can go and visit there, you can fish that area, as well as there is a fly fishing museum in that area as well. So great opportunities to really dive into the history of the people that were here before us. As far as travel goes, so as Hannah said that she's from Transylvania County. Sorry, that was total slipper. But that's the Rosman Brevard, North Carolina area. And so Western North Carolina, and I'm sure you all have already looked up or you may live there already. So you know kind of where the nearest airports are. Atlanta, 3.5 hours, and Charlotte, kind of the two biggest airports, is 2.5 hours away. As far as registration, so you all have registered, and that registration it's an instrumental role of just helping offset some of the costs with our co-hosts, as well as just the cost now of running an iFish, just a 501c3 nonprofit. But you also get a lot of perks with this registration as well. So the first perk is we, as all of the co-hosts, we have put in a lot of work into this registrant website. So basically it's going to be ifishibelong.org fish/NC reserved. And it's going to have all of this information that we've spoke about, as well as more. And we are always adding to our North Carolina Google map. So that's going to be specific. We've pinned different areas for y'all to visit. We have resources, there's blogs, there's links, there's hatch charts, there's fly suggestions, there's leader examples. So there's tons within this website. So please definitely take a look at it. We've also, as mentioned, with that Google map, so any of our locations where we're having our social time, Headwaters Outfitters Campgrounds, all of those will be on that map. Now, what I will mention is that service can be fairly spotty in and out of Western North Carolina. So definitely, I would say utilize, or when you're in good service, you go to your map, find the spot and go to. So make sure that you're in service while you're trying to get those directions. You'll thank me for that. We're also this year, this is pretty exciting. So Cling Magnets. So we are collaborating with a small organization. We're all about shopping small, supporting local. This is a small organization company out of Bozeman, Montana. And these magnets, they're pretty small, but they are very strong. And as we know, we're going to be fishing probably some fairly small bugs this time of year. And so every time you're changing out those insects, it's nice to be able to just throw your fly on a magnet. So you can put these on your waders. I put it on my hat. You can put it on your fly bag. It's really incredible because I'm sure who has lost flies when you're trying to put it on your Velcro patch? All my flies fall off. So pretty exciting to support small and have a really functional piece of equipment that y'all get to use. So that'll be in your registration bag. You also have have virtual education. So you have access to the summer trout fishing techniques. It's an hour-and-a-half virtual online course. So you have access to that. All of the access information with passwords and everything is in your emails. Also includes nice nightly socials. We are compiling different locations to get together. And then, of course, just wanting to really support small shop local and just the local area. Headwaters is being very generous in offering 25% off of both Headwaters locations throughout the weekend. So this will be in your final email, so you don't have to remember this, but it's IFIB 2025. So please shop at the shops. If you have to buy tippet or leaders or all the things, consider purchasing those at the local area. We provided a checklist for you too. I don't know, some people, I'm type A, I like to check things off. So hopefully this will help you as you're planning for your trip. And then also order your swag. So we're offering 25% off of all of our iFishiBelong swag. I will make sure that it's in the email with a coupon and a link. And I know some of you already have stuff from last year. Please rep it. We love seeing and getting smiles and just seeing all of that. And there's United Way on the Fly and iFishiBelong stuff within our store, and I'll send the link and the code with that. And why did we choose April? So in the past, we've always been Mother's Day weekend. So we've always been 2 weeks later. And a lot of what we had heard, a lot of the feedback was, oh, I'd love to come to your event, but it's Mother's Day weekend. And so we opted to bump it up a couple of weeks, as well as the fishing can be really good this time of year. So we are excited to have it in a slightly different time, allowing, kind of for great fishing. Molly, do you want to roll through just kind of the itinerary, and then I'll scroll through and help answer whatever?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, you can get there, like, you're welcome to come early as long as you have your license. Just make sure you have your license, but you can go ahead and pregame and start fishing on Friday. If you want to get into Rosamond on Thursday and Brevard on Thursday and come on in, like, the water's open. It's fine. But we're going to be having our 1 hour class. So if you've been to our events before, lovely Heather has always been there, but now she's going to take a break and she's going to be doing other things in Washington. I say take a break lightly, but she will not be there in person this year. So I'm going to be holding down the fort for the iFishiBelong team. And so we will have all of the swag bags, all of the goodies for you guys at the Headwaters Outfitters for pickup in Rosamond. So we'll be there on Friday. We're going to kick things off with the educational course that's from 3:30 to 4:30. That is a 1 hour special. And register. I think we still have plenty of space, if I'm correct. It's not too late. And obviously, one of the bigger differences, as the team has mentioned earlier, is Helene hit pretty bad. And so some of our waters and our surrounding areas look different. So we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight, and hopefully my dogs will be nice and won't make a big interruption right now. Nope, there's that. Sorry, that's my little ADT system.
Oh,
I think she's
Sorry about that. Trying to tame the mighty beast. So again, we'll be kicking off everything with the 1 hour course. Again, you do not have to attend this course, but we would like for you guys to join us. Right shortly after that, again, that's going to be in the Headwaters Outfitters in the back room. So we'll have that area. And then right after that, we will have the registration so you can formally pick up all your merch, sign in, check in, I believe, for camping as well. Also, I meant to say, Lydia, Jess, Hannah, please jump in at any point if I say anything wrong, or if you're like, oh, Molly, don't forget this. I think we're also going to have a little bit of some light entertainment occurring Friday evening afterwards. Okay. Actually, Jess, I'll let you jump in and give us a little sneak peek about that if you'd like. Because this is hot off the presses. It's not even in here, obviously.
yes. So Friday evening, we will have some music at the tap room. So we'll have some music playing, and it's just a great place to hang out. We're right on the river, so you can we can have a little fire by the river and hang out and talk. And we're all here to answer questions and help you figure out what you're going to do on Saturday if you're signed up for the Saturday fishing, which we'll talk about in just a second, or if you're fishing on your own, we'll be here to help make sure you're going to a good spot.
Yes. And then, so as been mentioned previously, is that they have the tap room. So there are adult beverages, there's, beer, there's wine, there's non-alcoholic beverages, there's colas, and then there's snacks also. So, so all are welcome. And there's really is just like no better environment. And so again, you can wrap up and then check into wherever you're going to be staying that evening. And then we're going to kick things off bright and early on Saturday morning. As Lydia had mentioned, the She Slays 5K is going to be occurring on the outskirts of Brevard, and there will be, some shuttle services there for folks that want to attend. I am actually going to go and attend that event with her as well. So, doing a little bit of two-stepping between being on the water and being on the road. This is a very special time for our dear friend Becca that we will be missing and honoring and fishing waters that she's fished with us last year. But again, so other than that, at 9:00, Hannah and Jess are going to take lead, and they're going to be helping you guys with the segment that she's talking about with the segmented beats. So you want to talk about that a little bit, Jess?
Yeah, and we'll talk about it here in the next couple of
All right. Okay, good deal.
What time, because I need to add this to the itinerary and the website, is the She Slays? What time are y'all going to be leaving, carpooling, and then what time does the race start?
Let's circle back to that when we get to the slide.
Cool, perfect.
All written out. I don't have it at the top of my head.
Okay, good deal. And so again, so the fishing is going to be from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. And of course, if you're like on a really hot water, just stay where you're at. It'll be fine. We'll be there and celebrating and partying way till the moon is high. But with that being said, we are having a social night, and we decided to move it from Friday to Saturday, so it makes it a little bit more fluid in our progress of the weekend. So we're going to be having some of the folks that couldn't make it earlier on Friday for registration pickup. I'll have all the gear and the swag there, and we'll be picking that up between 4 and 8. And again, always stay in touch with the link, as Angie made comment to earlier. Just keep a close eye on things, and we'll also provide updates that weekend of anything that kind of happens and shifts and accordingly. But again, the social event is going to be at Headwaters Outfitter. We also have some additional hot off the press fun things that are going to be happening that night. So that'll be real fun. And again, even if you're not really extroverted, again, just make a challenge to yourself to come out and have a great time. You'll be so surprised at how engaging and how friendly everyone is. And so you'll walk away with many more friends that you had than when you started. And then Sunday, again, same thing. It's more of, DIY fishing. You can look to hire a guide. There are probably still some that might be available in the area if you're looking. And again, if you're wanting to partner with someone, post on the Facebook page if you're wanting to try to buddy up with somebody to go with the guide. So.
Cool.
And if you want a guide, I would not wait. It's a busy time of year. So April is a really busy month for guides in our area. So if you are considering a guided trip, reach out to Hannah or I or any of the local guides that you might know, and I'd schedule that sooner rather than later.
Yes. Yeah. And floating the river is a great way to see it. So if you have that opportunity.
Yeah, and we're running our paddling trips all weekend too. So you can paddle and fish, and you can DIY fish while you're doing your paddling trip.
Love it.
And that is for the true overachiever. I have not gotten that part yet.
Beautiful.
Just the registration pickup times again. So
yep, exactly. All right. And again, so Headwaters does have camping available. There are limited spots, again, because of Helene and all her graciousness. She
camping sold out. So for those that have registered for camping. So
yes. So I was just going to say is that we have lesser spots because Helene was just such a Amini when she came through. So, so arriving after 4 on Thursday, and then you'll be checking out on Sundays. Again, if you can, just try to remember to be courteous. Pack it in, pack it out, and make sure you don't leave a mess. This is a really great spot for us to be able to have. We haven't had problems before, but just remember to just take a last look before you get ready to roll out. You'll need to fill out your waivers, and then you can get your link and your QR code in your email. Also, there you'll be able to check it. And so there is a gate code. Yes. Again, you'll have that information.
Gate code. So we'll email you out a gate code on how you get it.
Yep.
Perfect.
And then again, given the sketchy signals, sometimes here or there, just make sure you get your directions while you've got your cell coverage.
And I'll make sure that there's other campground suggestions on the website. So that way, since Headwaters is full, there's lots and lots of other camping options around as well. So
yeah, there are really some just straight on the backside of Headwaters. So it's not far at all.
And this is just the workshop. So it's really the focus with this workshop is going to be North Carolina leader setup for specific water types. And that's going to be the specific waters that y'all are going to be fishing in. And one of the biggest things I know that we asked everyone to take surveys, and we greatly, greatly appreciate everybody that has taken them in the past. You're going to get another one afterwards, after this event as well. But we hear you. So one of the biggest things from the 2024 survey result was that people wanted more education, and they felt that having the workshops that were longer and limited to numbers, they wanted to have more. So that's why we're trying this donation-based workshop where it's, an hour to 2 hours based on the different locations. And so this is based on the survey results. So thank you all so much for filling those out. You can register or just show up. It's donation based. So come and we'll have some different leader setup examples that are handed, that we'll hand out to y'all. So that way you have them for your weekend, and it'll be hands-on. So you'll be basically setting all of this up on your own rod and or just setting up leaders so you can kind of understand that and know how to fish those specific leader types. Here's a great picture. This is our dear friend Becca, who we will be running for. This is the tap room. This is the area. So tap room's in the back. You have a food truck on the right. The shop's here. It's just a really great location to just hang out. So Friday and Saturday night, that's where this is going to be. It's going to be lots and lots of fun. Saturday, secluded water. So we still have spots available. And Jess, I'm going to have you, if you wouldn't mind, just kind of walking through what this is. And this is a really great opportunity that we have never offered in the past. So I think it'd be great to just hear more about it.
Yeah. So one of the feedback I got last year was some people that come, like our private water or secluded water gets booked up really quickly. We have a beautiful section of the East Fork of the French Broad River that we lease from an awesome family that's just below the delayed harvest section. And it books up very quickly. So people that were wanting guided trips and wanted to get on that water, even when they tried to book in like January, it was already full. So I went ahead and reserved it for this day. And Heather and I talked about like a way to get as many people on it as we can for that day, with it still being a good experience for everyone. So what we did was we kind of broke it into 2-hour slots. It can be unguided or guided. I do recommend, I would personally probably recommend guided, just so you get the most out of the 2 hours. If you look at the cost, it's $150. That's a really good deal for like a guy. Like most people pay that for like an hour casting clinic. So I think it's just a really good deal for a 2-hour guided spot. And you're going to have somebody that is with you and kind of helping you make the best of those 2 hours. We have it from 9 to 5. I think some spots are full in the morning, but there's still some availability throughout the day. April is really nice because the water temps really stay great all day long. We did just have a big stream restoration project on our private water with NC Wildlife and Conserving Carolina. So if you have seen it, it looks a lot different and then of course, Helene came and completely devastated our stream bank restoration project, and we had to redo it. So we had just kind of over the winter, they redid that. I personally think it looks great. Hannah can kind of attest to it. She's probably been on it the most. It's fishing really well. The fish are kind of settling in. There's a lot more fishable water there than what's been in the past. But the afternoon slots, I know a lot of people sometimes hesitate on those, but in April in Western North Carolina, afternoon fishing can be just as great as morning fishing. So if that changes, of course, if we have like a weird week where all of a sudden it's going to be like 80 to 90 and the water temps get a little weird, we're going to communicate with you. But I don't think that's happened in April that I know of ever. So
Awesome. And Molly's hand is rose.
What did I just hit a button? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Jess, can you tell us, like, do you know off the top of your head what the availability is? Like how many slots do you have left?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, never mind, Jess.
So the 11 to 1 guided time is full. However, we have slots from 9 to 11 and then 1 to 3, 3 to 5. And all of that, if you go onto the website, you can select, it'll show which ones are available. So basically we have guided spots and unguided. So the only time that's not available for unguided or for guided is from 11 to 1, but everything else we have some spots.
All right. I'm gonna sign up.
Yeah. And some details. And again, so if you signed up for camping, you're going to get a separate camping email. If you signed up for the secluded water, you're going to get this information, but it's nice to just go through. And for those that might be interested, it's nice to hear this, but we'll be sending you final details throughout the week or at the end of the week. Right before the event. A representative will be there. So there are going to be different beats. And what that means, some of you all don't know what a beat is, but a beat is basically a section of water that you'll be fishing. And we say secluded water, but this is water that no one else can be fishing. So that's why this is so special. And there's some really, really great fish in this area. We just ask that you arrive 15 minutes before your scheduled time. Whoever's going to be there with Headwaters, they're going to have the list of everybody that has signed up. So they'll kind of know where to put you. We will have a map ready for you as well as a waiver that will be sent out. And then if you are guided and you need boots and waders, please just let me know, send me an email so that way we can make sure that we have those for you. And then suggested equipment, 9-foot, 5-weight rod, floating line, 4 to 5x leaders, 4 to 6x tippet, and then just refer to the suggested flies, which we're going to get through. Guides will have some flies as well, but just so that is kind of the basic information there. Here's the She Slays information also. Thank you, Lydia, for creating this. So the race starts at 8 a.m. So what time are you all going to carpool? Like at 7 or 7:30?
I would like to meet at 6:15 a.m. in the back lot of the Headwaters.
Okay, perfect. I'll put that.
So meet me in the back lot at 6:15. It's about a 40-minute drive. We have to pick up our bibs by 7:30, and then the race starts at 8. So that gives us enough time to get parked, find parking. We don't know what that'll be like when we get there, and then get our bibs and hit the starting line.
Awesome. Ready for some coffee?
So this is what's so fun and this is the way all of these events, it's all just kind of a la carte. You just choose whatever you want to do. You're going to hang, in the evening, you're going to pick up your registration. You want to do this, you want to go fishing, and also know that the secluded, that specific area, it's on the East Fork of the French Broad, but there's so much other public areas that you can go and fish too. So this is just an additional option that we've opened up for the area. Here's just another photo from the Saturday social evening. Always fun. Hopefully Angie's going to make it. And so Angie and Hannah can jam a little and bring some of her songbook so we can sing along. I think that's the most fun that I'm going to miss is just the Appalachia culture of just sitting around and just jamming and singing together. I don't think there's anything else more beautiful, honestly. So going to be pretty fun. And then Sunday, as Molly mentioned, just fish and depart. So different event locations. So all of this again is listed: the Headwaters Campground, Headwaters Outfitters, and then Rachel's secluded water location. So that address will be emailed to you if you have signed up for that option. There's tons and tons of different river maps all over in the reserved website. So this is where you kind of have to dive in and start to look at different things, specifically if you're going to be doing any of your own DIY fishing. But North Carolina, you all are very, very blessed with all of the access and the links and the resources that that is available to anglers and just outdoor recreators. This is another just the USDA just talking about the Pisgah area or Pisgah National Forest. So tons and tons of things to do. You are in waterfall area, so be mindful of that, but also take advantage of that, because April you might have a little bit more water. The waterfalls might be in full force. So it could be absolutely beautiful. All of these maps that we're showing, all of the links are on the registrant website, and they also should be clickable via your slide options as well. And then here again, just the Pisgah National Forest. There's tons of maps, tons and tons of areas, and we're going to go through kind of where to fish. As far as Headwaters Campground, this is what it is. Carolyn, I just sent you a private DM, so send me an email. Basically, with Helene, it did wash out one of the campsites.
Where that truck and RV is in the back, they are now in the river. So,
So that does not exist. So basically with this campground, it's just, it's all about just kind of being together. And so those that have registered, you're probably going to be camping next to someone or fairly close, but that's what this weekend's all about. Again, just you can sleep in your car, van, tents, trailers. It is all dry camping. Dogs are allowed, but please be mindful, clean up after them, and just make sure that they are well-behaved dogs. And headlamp is always a good idea, and bug spray as well. Again, here's where Headwaters Outfitters is here in Rosman. So the campground's literally like 10-ish minutes away, but definitely use Google Maps when you have service. You're going to hear us reiterate that because you're going to go in and out of service. Meals, you're on your own. So there are opportunities though on Friday and Saturday night for you to shop at the tap room for your whatever bevy of choice you want, as well as some great meals. And it's just a really great hangout location. It's so fun. And then now we're going to just move into the DIY fishing. So Hannah, do you want to, this graphic that you it's such a great graphic. Could you explain it if you wouldn't mind and just kind of talk about some of the areas?
Yeah, so this is a kind of very condensed list of the waters that we have around here. If you look up probably anything regarding fishing in our area, these are going to be more than likely the points that are going to pop up for you. So don't feel like these are the only places to go, but these kind of do define the easier places to find information on. So East Fork of the French Broad is a delayed harvest stream, which means they stock those in the spring and fall for us. It is all roadside parking, like super, super easy access. Definitely a fun place if you're an experienced angler. It's a great place if you're a novice or a total beginner because the fish are pretty eager to eat. They're pretty, they'll let you make mistakes and you can get away with them over there. So it's a fun spot to go, very low pressure as far as like your angling abilities go. Same with Little River. It is also a delayed harvest stretch. That says Hooker Falls access. I'm not sure if that is currently open right now. I've heard mixed things because we also just went through a really ridiculous wildfire last week. So between the two natural disasters, some of this might be a little skewed as far as access points go. But Little River, you can access elsewhere as well if you have to. Avery Creek is a little tributary that flows into the Davidson River within Pisgah National Forest. It is a tighter creek with smaller fish, but they're a lot of fun to catch, especially this time of year, just using little bushy dry flies. They'll eat just about anything. Mills River is a little bit of a harder access. It is probably, let me go down the list here. It's probably also the furthest away. It's about 45-minute drive or so from where our kind of headquarters will be for the weekend. but it is an option. The West Fork of the French Broad is a hatchery supported section of river about 10 minutes away from our shop. Semi easy access. It's kind of like a little bit of a mini gorge, so it's not as easy as just hopping off the road like East Fork is and hopping in there and fish. But it is a really great place to dry fly fish this time of year. I don't know why, but the fish in there just seem to look up a little bit more than other areas. The hatchery section of the Davidson is easy access, but really tough fishing. You would think being right next to the hatchery that it might be the opposite, but those fish have seen literally everything known to man come by their face at least 1,000,000 times, probably over the last week. So beautiful fish in there, but you can expect a challenge if that's what you're looking for. Great place to go. Davidson River, kind of the same. It is super easy access. It's all right next to the main highway, but it is very tough fishing. It is right in Pisgah, so as you can imagine, with all the people that visit Pisgah throughout the year, those fish have also been well educated. I would say though, this is probably the best time of year to get in there and catch fish, just because there's so many bugs that hatch this time of year on the Davidson. So don't totally write it off, but if you're looking for a challenge, the Davidson is a great place. Davidson River Gorge, I have not been in there since the hurricane. I don't have y'all. Yeah, I don't really. Honestly, I'm not even sure if I would suggest going in there. It's very rugged in there, and the fish can be kind of few and far in between. There are some bigger fish that tend to be in there, but it is probably the hardest fishing out of this entire list. Not just fishing, but access as well. So if you want a real challenge, I would go in there, but you need to be pretty sporty. Definitely go with a buddy if you end up going in there. Let somebody know where you're going. And the same goes for the North Fork. The further up Highway 215 you go, the more difficult access is going to be. It is a super rugged gorge. It's beautiful in there. The fishing can be great, but know what you're getting into if you go in there. Don't go in there by yourself. Let somebody else know if you guys end up going in there. Because it's one of those places where a little twisted ankle can turn into a real good situation. So just be aware of where you go. We're also here. I mean, we're all from here. So if there's a place that you're like, oh, I looked at this on a map, what do you think? We'll be honest with you and say, yeah, go for it. But, be very aware of what you're doing. And then for the most up-to-date information, I think NC Wildlife has done a pretty good job as far as keeping up with Forest Service road closures, parking lot closures, things like that. So for like DuPont down there at the bottom would be your resource to see if Little River is open or the parking areas, not so much the river, but how you can access it. That is within DuPont. And then just about everything else, excluding East Fork, can be found on the Pisgah website. So if there's anything specific that you're looking for, you can obviously ask us, but I would utilize those resources because they're going to be more up to date. Obviously, we can't keep up with all of the little closures and stuff that these crazy storms and wildfires have brought, but I would use those, and then also just use each other. Like last year we did that a lot. We would report at the end of the day and say, hey, like we went and checked this out and it wasn't worth the darn, or we went here and it was awesome. So help each other out too throughout the weekend. Just kind of helping guide each other around the area as you guys explore.
Awesome. Yeah. And just utilize the Facebook group. So, and Angie, I know you're looking at all these difficulties, these number 5. So make sure you bring a buddy. Angie likes challenges. So if you like to challenge, contact Angie. Reach out to Angie.
She's also the greatest person to go with, because if you accidentally almost start floating down the river, by God, she's going to stop. You're going to be fine.
Totally. Angela flies. I mean, she's a great resource. And then we have we are just pinning some of these different areas onto the Google Maps, but that's where you can just kind of do a little more work and some more research, and just being waterfall wise, just throughout the entire that you're out fishing. If you do need to borrow any equipment, please just borrow or fill out the borrowed equipment form by April 10th. And that way I can, because I'm going to be shipping stuff from Spokane. So please just fill it out by tomorrow, actually, if you need to borrow anything. Fishing licenses. So here is the fishing license, and we've listed all of this on the website as well as information. And is there a special stamp or not that they need to get?
Not anymore. There used to be a trout stamp, but now it's just a non-resident or resident license. So you can do a 10-day or a year. And it's the inland fishing license is what you need.
Perfect. Awesome. And then just know, like obviously there's tons of regulations, and regulations are there to protect the fisheries. So please know and obey them. So that's, all of our responsibilities as anglers to know those regulations, and you can go in and you can find those. And if you're using trout routes, the regulations will be there, or if you go in, screenshot it so it's on your phone. So that way, if you don't have service while you're going in. Different fish guide options. So obviously Headwaters, Davidson River. So connect through there if you're thinking about wanting to hire a guide. And as Jess mentioned, sooner rather than later, because it is such a popular time that people definitely will be, those guides will be booking up, or use that Saturday. We have that for that secluded private water or secluded water area. So with the different beats. So please just take advantage of that. As far as different fish species, you have a lot of options, lots of different native brook trout, stocked brook trout, brown trout, rainbow trout, large and smallmouth bass, striped bass, carp. There's a lot of different species that you can target and fish for. As far as equipment goes, this is all listed in the registrant website, but 4 to 6 weights, average 9 foot, weight forward floating lines, sink tips, if you're going to be fishing for certain fisheries, but floating lines will pretty much get the job done. As far as leaders go, 9 foot, 4 to 6X, and different tippet spools, kind of 4 to 6X is going to be on average, your best sizes. Always think about change of clothes, water, snacks, first aid kit, bug spray, sunscreen, sunglasses, kind of all of that stuff as well when you're thinking about all your equipment. Always bring a rain jacket. You never know. There's probably going to be a rainstorm sometime throughout the day. So, and then dress in layers, cold and warm weather, boots, waders, and then polarized sunglasses for safety, for you just to be walking around, but also for eyeball safety as well. Different hatch charts. So this is listed. This is also shared on the registrant website as well. So basically we're going to be in here in April. So based on the weather, you may see some of these hatches that might be, kind of some of the May hatches too, but really it kind of just shows, March browns are going to be happening, maybe some caddis, maybe a little yellow Sally stonefly, some golden stones as well. And we'll show a list of the different flies. And here's kind of the suggested flies. This is from Molly, Hannah, Lydia, and from Jessica. So these are kind of the most favorite flies for this area. So definitely utilize that local knowledge when you go into the different fly shops and just ask, what are the different sizes that I need? They'll be able to help you out with all of that. You can also look at this hatch chart. It does say kind of what sizes. So the 16 to 20, that would be your fly size. So you can utilize that as well, just kind of a suggestion for the different size flies that you might need. Different techniques. There are a lot of different techniques: dry fly, dry dropper, subsurface, nymph fishing, Euro nymph fishing, and streamer. So you have a lot of options as far as, how you can fish. So we're going to just share some different leader examples. This is really going to be what this workshop on Friday afternoon is going to be all about, like talking about it. How do you approach the water with this? How do you fish this specific leader? And then how do you set it up? So we're just going to share some examples here. Just a single dry fly, pretty simple based on the size fly that you have. 7.5 to 15 foot. I know that's a wide range and kind of really depends on the size of the water that you're going to be fishing, 3 to 6x. So really kind of the size also of the fly. A great way to decide what size tippet is to take the size of your fly and divide that by 3. So let's say you have a size 12, you can divide that by 3, 4. So that'd be about 4x tippet is a great size to use that. That's just in general, but sometimes trying to figure out what size tippet. Subsurface, so fish feed under the water 80 to 90% of the time. So going subsurface is a great way to do it. You can fish with a single subsurface fly. You can fish with 2, so one that could be tied off the hook bend or one that could be tied on a tag end. So lots of different ways. This is like the Western North Carolina special here, where you have 3 flies. So you have a dry point fly, that's kind of your top fly, and then you're going to have 2 dropper flies here. So this can be fun to cast. The more flies you have, the more likely that things are going to get all tangled. But this is where you would just kind of do a single roll cast, not wanting to do a lot of false casting. But this is a great system to use. Also be mindful and make sure that regulation wise that you can fish 3 flies. So thinking about that as well. Here's another double subsurface leader. So this is where you have a tag end. So you're going to have your point fly, your bigger fly here that's going to be at the end of your leader. And then you just basically tie on either a blood knot, you can use a tippet ring or a double surgeon knot, and you just keep that tag in longer, and then you just tie on a dropper fly. So this can be super effective, specifically if the hatch is starting to happen. So that the insects are at the bottom, they're starting to rise or emerge to become adults. If you have insects that are kind of in that middle part of the water column, then if you have a tag end and you have an insect that's kind of in the middle part of the water column, you're going to catch some fish. So great way to set up this leader to fish subsurface. And then streamer fishing. So here is just a smaller little streamer, kind of 3 to 5 feet. So really is all you need. And you could even use an old leader. So I save all of my old leaders just to be able to recycle them. And then this is what I use. You want to think about mass moves mass. So a lot of times these streamers are heavier. So you need to have larger diameter tippet in order to truly turn over that fly. So you need a little more mass on your leader in order to propel the larger mass on your streamer. So just another streamer leader. And this is what the entire workshop is going to be talking about on Friday at 3:30. And then just some conservation considerations. So we are partners with Keep Fish Wet. So we do, Angie, who's here, she does our Fish Handling Friday. Bravo, Angie, you're killing it. Basically just giving suggestions every Friday on how to, kind of, if you choose catch and release, what's the best science-based ways of doing so. We do support legal harvest. So if just ensuring that it's ethical and legal. So we are definitely in support of that as well. And some of the fisheries that you'll be fishing, you can keep the fish. So do know that too. And again, just know your regulations. Wet bare hands are best. So just take off gloves. Those fish have that slime layer, that protective slime layer, and anything that it can adhere to that, whether you're wearing cotton or gloves or whatever it might be, can adhere to that and actually pull that off and, allow bacteria onto the fish. So just wet bare hands are best. 10 seconds or less. So science shows or research shows that taking your fish out of the water for less than 10 seconds is going to be the best. And that's a cumulative. So 10 seconds down, it's a cumulative time. and just holding the net over your fish. So not only does it look aesthetically beautiful, but fish are slippery and they tend to squirm out of our hands. So it's nice to be able to catch the fish as well. Leaning over the boat, if it's safe to do so, if you are on a guided trip, just thinking about just leaning over the boat or getting out of the water if you can, specifically if you catch like a monster fish. Again, listen to your guide only if it's safe to lean over the boat and or get out. And then if you're walking wading, leaning down, it just looks better. So, make sure that your photographer is kind of down at that same eye level, just leaning down at water level, just the picture looks just so much better. And when you're photographing, think about tails, scales, eyeballs, friends catching trees. I know I have a lot of my friends love to catch video and photos of me catching trees because that's going to happen when you have rhododendrons in North Carolina. But just kind of photographing and experience the entire journey of your day of fishing. Thinking outside the box, bananas. I fear no fruit. If some people don't like fruit or bananas on boats, there's a whole story with that. And I encourage you to look up the tale and the stories on that. But just casting and just kind of thinking outside the box as far as, getting those different photographs, different casting. This is much larger than what you're going to be fishing in North Carolina. This is actually in Idaho on the Snake River, but just kind of grasping all of those different experiences that you have when fishing. And kind of in conclusion, and then I know we're 4:02, but we'll open it up for a little Q&A, but we're here that we want you to have fun. So know that all of the co-hosts, although some of them professionally are guides, while they're here, they are here, volunteering or being a part of this amazing weekend. So we're here to help educate. We're here to help answer any questions. Drama of any kind will not be tolerated. So if you experience anything that makes you uncomfortable and or, you just don't like, please let one of the co-hosts know so we can make sure that we deal with that. We've never had that happen, but we just want to make sure that everyone does truly feel welcomed and safe to be and come to all of these different events. Again, it's not a exclusive women's only trip. So you may see, different folks that are here during the event, as well as it's not fly fishing specific. So you might see someone, with a conventional rod, and we support everyone and high five. And, at the end of the day, we're all anglers. So different contact information. You all have the events at iFishiBelong.org. I'm actually working at the hospital. I'm on call the weekend of the event. But I'll be around so I can still answer any emails, but really utilize the Facebook group, Headwaters, and then there's Headwaters' phone number as well if you need to, contact somebody directly. But we will be posting stuff within that Facebook group also. And then I'm going to stop my share. And I didn't really see much with the comments, but does anybody have any questions to ask hopefully we made this presentation so incredibly good that you don't have to ask any questions. That was what our goal was. But we're here for you. So what additional questions do you have that we can help you with?
I would just like to I'm going to add one quick thing on the safety.
Yes.
Just because of the storms and the fires that we've had. April's going to be a great time to be here because trees will be showing if they're living or if they're not. Just be mindful. If you're standing, if you're fishing and you look up, kind of just be aware of the trees around you. We're expecting to see a good bit of limbs that are loose or falling and things like that. So just make sure that you're being observant. If you're fishing and you look up and you see all these great trees around you with green on them, and then you're standing under one that has no life to it, I would just scoot down a couple inches. We were actually fishing last year. Hannah and I were fishing with Allie, and who else was fishing with us? I can't remember, on the West Fork.
Yeah.
And a tree literally fell
like a whole tree
fell right across the river from us. So just be mindful. Also, when you're waiting, just be also there's some sand in places that have piled up where it's not settled sand, and it basically turns into quicksand. We've already had a few issues with people reporting some quicksand type incidences when they were fishing. So just make sure that you're like stepping out and feeling that it's firm. You can tell immediately if like you're on a firm surface. But if you see like a big sand pile in this stream, don't stand on it to fish. Just move around it, because it could just be, unsettled sand that you're just going to sink in.
Good advice. And a waiting staff's always a great idea too, or a stick, so you can.
Yeah. And Angie just answered a question, or she just asked a question to me, but I think it'd be great. There's Angie, right up the road from us is Lazy J Campground, right up the road from the shop. It's wonderful. It's actually a campsite that was one of Becca's favorite campsites. She used to camp there all the time. It's right on the river. It's wonderful. But we have 5 campsites, but I told Heather if 1 or 2 people needed a spot, we do have a little bit of room to work with down there. So just let me know if you end up coming. We can try to work around it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.